Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is go time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Oh, what up, folks? Welcome to a brand new week, brand new episode. You already know what it is. Brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today? I'm
What's
your host,
good
Jay.
today? Hey, what's going on, folks? Oh, I got the hitman. I can't act like that. Then if I do, then if I don't. We here. We're live. We're back with y'all. 2 weeks. Gave y'all a break last week. No, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all right now. Since y'all don't understand what family means, last week was a family day. I got to experience Lego robotics, see Alive and in Child, and I got to see, I didn't get to go to my daughter's practice and pick her up, but if y'all didn't know, my daughter's on a fantastic volleyball team. In the school, the freshman team has the best record. We're going to leave it at that. And she's a part of that. So congratulations, shout out to Betty Fairfax, freshman team. Sophomore team, you're not doing too bad. Or JV team, I should say. Not sophomore. JV team. Varsity, well, we'll leave that to discovery. 1 win in 10 games.
I got to give a shout out to Trulu. Trulu, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, man.
You better not never do your thing if you're on this damn channel.
So let's just hop right into it, folks.
You know what week it is, right? You know what week it is? Y'all know what week it is?
Oh, we just gonna hop right into it?
You said it again.
Okay.
Y'all know what week it is. So first, let's do a shout out to the watchers.
Hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, please.
Mike, it's too early for you right now. Rest in peace. I'm just gonna say that to Mike. He knows what it's about. Man, I'm not going there. Anyway, y'all know what week it is. Do you not understand? So it's September. So the number one cash cow in boxing fights in September, usually around Mexican Independence Week. But he couldn't because UFC was being what UFC is. Luckily, Dana White's no longer in charge.
He is in the WWE.
Well, now saying that, it's Canelo fight week, fighting Jermell Charlo, not Jamal. Jermell Charlo, the one Charlo that has fight left in him. I don't think he's the better fighter, and because of that, he fights harder. If you understand what I'm saying, I don't think he's the better out of the twins, but he fights harder. So that is this Saturday, folks. Tune in if you can. Find a place to pop a squat. This is the fight to watch. Not the Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. These are actually two actual boxers. Now, people want to say he's at a disadvantage. 14 pounds, he had a gain, or 17 pounds, he had a gain, blah, blah, blah. Just walk around weight, maybe a little bit less. I don't care. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I will not be surprised if Canelo gets stopped. I'm leaving that out there. I will not be surprised if Canelo gets stopped. I'm a fan of boxing. We're getting the matches we want. I mean, what else? October. I don't want to talk about that fight. November.
I don't want to talk about that fight.
I do.
Not right now.
I do because it's already signed. Finally, somebody's going to fight your boy on my birthday.
I want to talk about that fight when we get to
But And we'll talk a little bit more about it when it gets close to it. We'll talk a little bit more about it. And then, of course, we got December, big fights that time. But that's all I have to say about that. And then again, Mike, rest in peace for the Bears.
Well, folks, let's give a shout out since we're still on sports. That Miami game.
See, I wasn't even. I thought specifically you put in bold letters. We're not talking about that.
But I have to bring up Miami 70 piece, bro. A 70 piece.
See, the reason why I don't want to bring it up. I agree with Jason McCourty. You needed 3 points to break the record to put yourself at top of the record books. You should have just did it.
Yep.
And to prove a point that, and you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. I'm quite sure that Sean Page rethinking the fact of taking the Broncos over the Cardinals right about now.
And the thing about that, now, let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. They playing hard, bro. They're playing hard. Like,
and
I didn't expect it. I did, and I'm a Cardinal fan. I'll tell you right now. I was pushing for maybe 3 to 5 games max, but they're competing in every game. Every game. Now, the Giants game, I don't know what the hell happened with that game. I don't know.
Saquon Barkley said, just give me the damn ball. That's all that happened. Saquon Barkley said, give me the ball. They're not beating us. Now, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Remember, you laughed at this. I said, don't be surprised if the Cardinals ruin the first pick. Did I not? Did I not say that? I said, don't be surprised the Cardinals ruin the first pick. I say ruin it, and I'm using that in a positive term. This team is playing hard with not even a star quality quarterback. Kyler Murray's not out there. It's Joshua Dobbs. So now I'm going to tell y'all something right there. They are playing hard all the time for this coach. This coach, Gannon, has them playing out their mind.
Well, enough of sports. Let's get into what everybody's tuning in.
The government said, oh, you mean the fact that the government heard we were going to talk about them and they decided to try and agree on something? Is that what
they tried to. Apparently, it wasn't.
It's not finalized yet, but they're trying to.
So, government shutdown is about to take place if they don't come up with an agreement by midnight on October 1st, right? So, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Tell me.
Well, that means that no government officials will get paid because there's no money.
No money from what exactly?
I guess, and that it right there is the question. That right there is the question. They got money for this, they got money for that, but you don't have money to make payroll. You don't have money to. Medicare recipients are going to be hurting. People that receive state Medicaid is going to be hurt by this. If you get disability, Social Security, like it's a domino effect of what is about to take place, especially in this time right now with everything being so high in cost. If this government was to shut down, what do you think is going to happen?
Nothing.
You don't think anything's going to happen?
Things are going to keep going the same. Ain't nothing going to stop. The wheel's going to keep turning. You know why? Do you know why? Nothing's going to change. Because the blind have led us. And now we're blind. And we'll just keep doing, government shut down. Well, I got to get up and go to work. I got to buy my groceries. I got to get gas in my car. Yada, yada, yada. Kids go to school. I got to go to their after school program. Nothing ain't changing. Nothing ain't changing because people are going to make do with what it is. Or what's the term? It is what it is, right? Y'all love that term so much. Here it is for you. It is what it is. Things are not going to change. You want to know why? Because we, the people, have given them the power to do what the hell they want. Pretty much a shutdown is just a vacation. Oh, by the way, they shut down in November and don't come back to January. So you tell me, do they need it? And this happens. Do you really realize?
Right before every election, it happens.
Not just every election, every year. Every year they have a shutdown in October. And then they come back, hey, you know what? We're going to agree on this for another 10 months. And then here comes November. Oh, we're out for the holiday. Wait a minute. Didn't you just have a break? Now you need a 2-month break for what? What? No. Come on, man. Y'all are so busy canceling people. You're so busy speaking out against stupid stuff about who shot who, so-and-so shot Megan in the foot. You're so wrapped up in that crap in the reality TV that you're not looking at what's going on around you.
You're so focused in fake reality TV that you're not in reality. That's just how I look at it.
Change. We keep telling y'all change. Get uncomfortable. You're so comfortable doing it. Get uncomfortable.
No, I posted something the other day. I told you about it. Don't reelect anybody in office now. And I stand on that. I stand on that. Do not, let me repeat, do not reelect a government official that's currently already in office. Do not reelect them back in office. If you want to see a change, that's where it starts. So even from your local government all the way up to the presidency. Am I lying?
Here's what I want to do next year. I'm putting this out there right now. All of you that are club promoters, DJs, how about this?
Oh, hold on. I want to get to this real quick.
It's not. Their paycheck is not. Here's the thing. Their paycheck is not affected because they got so many constituents that can keep sewing to them.
Not only that, but they'll end up getting a lump sum check once the government reopens. So it's not like they're going to be missing out on money either. They might not have what they want when they need it at that time, but they're going to get their money regardless.
They're getting paid regardless. Because they're not getting that check, they still get money.
Thank you, Trulu. Get rid of them.
Now, what I was going to say, DJs, club promoters, all y'all, hear me out. All across this wonderful world that we live in. Start throwing election parties. That's not going to be fun. Yeah, it will, because y'all know what to do to make it fun. Throw an election party. Let's start doing it. Y'all want to party about the dumbest stuff. You want to have gender reveal parties. You want to have with shit that don't even work.
Hold on, time out. What is the Okay, all right. Here's my thing about gender reveal parties.
They're stupid.
I think they're stupid as hell, especially in this time of era. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna let little Jacques Cousteau decide what the fuck they want to be anyway, the fuck are you having a gender reveal party for? Now I know I'm gonna get some hate and some throwback on this, but I don't give a fuck. Now here's my problem with that, Mike. No government at all.
Well, that ain't gonna work.
It's not. Too many people, too many hands in the pot.
We need
nothing
a reboot.
will get done.
We need a reboot.
It needs there definitely needs to be some sort of legislation in place. We need to get back to the Constitution. They want to revise everything else.
No, we don't.
But they don't want.
We don't need to get back to the Constitution. We need to have a whole new goddamn Constitution, because a lot of that stuff
it's not been. And I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. When was the last time the Constitution's been revised?
What do they call it? Ratified.
Ratified.
They don't use revise either. We're ratified to make it sound official. It's still revised.
When was the last time they did it though?
It's been a few years.
2018. And guess what they revised?
It was the voter laws.
Exactly. That was it. But besides that, we're still living under constitutional laws
from the 1700s.
From the 1700s.
Actually,
I wonder why this government is looking at a shutdown.
I'm going to go on a limb and say 1600s. And if you understand me, you understand why I say the 1600s. Because you know what? They were writing stuff down on a napkin. Then all of a sudden they decided they were trying to you know what? No. Let's get rid of that one. That's not going to benefit certain non-colored folks. If I sound politically correct. That sound politically correct?
No, you didn't.
Okay, good. That was the whole point. So non-colored folks, this is what we're going to do for you. This is how we're going to do this. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And then when they found out the very first president before actual presidents was black, and they went and removed that gentleman from the face of the earth.
You know what they're trying to discredit now? And we've seen the story on this. They're trying to discredit the fact that Abraham Lincoln's mom was Ethiopian descent.
No, they're trying to discredit that he was mixed. He's actually
black. They're discrediting that whole thing. Like I was talking with my pops about it, and he looked it up, and I'm like, okay, well, read this article. He was all like, I don't know what to make of this. You're right. That's.
You know where I'm going with this.
Hold on. Before you get to that, let's get to this comment right here.
Our local Bears fan.
Those that say we need government, I think, are the ones that are the problem. If you need somebody to guide you to tell you that you made to do, maybe all of those people should be moved to their original land.
I like your thought process, but here's why we're saying we need government. Without government to uphold the laws of the country
the right way. Let's ratify that.
Well,
let's ratify that the right way, because at the end of the day, the laws that are written right now
are only governed towards some people,
and they're not even written in the correct form of what they should be written in.
I'm gonna put it to you this way, Mike. With no government, you have situations that are happening, like in the Caribbean. Africa, where they're literally just walking in there and killing
everything.
Because they really don't have an established government. Because people say, you know what? I don't like what he's doing. You know, they're sitting there probably at a barbecue or, cook whatever they're doing in the backyards and by the huts. You know what? I don't like him. Yeah, me either. How about you? Nah, they didn't have a few drinks. Let's go storm the quote unquote White House. Who's gonna stop them? Now all of a sudden the guy there has no political background, which is fine, but he has no idea what he's doing. You don't know what I'm talking about? Look it up. African country that killed their president and his family. Now the guy's in office. He's hi. I'm here. I'm running everything, but I have no idea what I'm doing. That's the purpose. Government.
I like this comment though. The law of the land is the best government policy.
But who's going to enforce it? Tell me. The law of the land is great, but who's going to enforce it?
The land needs to return to the American Aborigines, not natives, not indigenous, but Aboriginal people.
So that means none of us belong here.
Some do, some don't.
So here's my question with that. We give them the land. They say we all got to go. Where are we going?
I don't think he's meaning this in the aspect of, okay, give the land back to the Aborigines and kick everybody else out. I don't think that's what he meant by that.
No, but if you put the Aborigines in office, if you listen to what they say, we will not be here. So where are we going?
Those that were brought here will stay here.
Those that were brought here, that would make it sense.
If
you're Aborigine of this land, most of them don't want people here anyway. So they're going to tell you to leave. If they get to make the law, they're going to tell you to leave. So again, it goes back to my question: where are you going? No, we're not the Aboriginal. We are not the Aboriginal.
I want to see this debate with. We got to have this debate because this is actually very important for people to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, but we're not the original. We're not the Aboriginal. I hate to tell you that. What right do you think we're the Aboriginal? You, me, Jay, Mike. I mean, Mike, you're pretty much safe. So you are originally from this land. You're 100% native. 100%, not 75, not 50. Not 25, you are 100%, meaning you can go on to native land and be seen by a doctor with no problem because you have your papers.
I want to get some feedback on this because this is an actually a very good debate.
I hate to say you, but if that was the case, the biology dictates who is Aboriginal.
So what I did, if everybody was wondering why I was quiet a little bit, I'm going to invite Chulu onto the show right now. So that way, comments can get misconstrued or out of context. But that's the better choice. It can be read out of context sometimes.
Right. That's what you're saying.
So I want to invite him onto the show just so that way we can be able to get his exact context of what he means by that.
Now, this here is what I want you to clarify. You're not a fake Indian. Sellout nation. So here's what about that. I don't call anyone of a native descent Aboriginal a sellout nation because I tell you what, they've been paid hush money and they continue to be paid hush money and they always will be paid hush money.
And who are you talking about specifically?
The native Aborigines.
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to get that money because, lack of a better term, the Spaniards. Oh, y'all thought I was going to say Europeans. I got you on that, didn't I? The Spaniards will continue that are in charge to continue to pay y'all to keep y'all happy and whatever y'all want, you're going to get.
Okay. I think that answers one of your questions.
What?
About he's not a fake Indian. I think that's what he was answering in regards to he's not African professing to be something that he's not.
Leave that there. Do people understand what he's saying there? Okay, let me kind of, y'all gonna hate this when I go here. For those of you that are African American, do you understand what he's saying? When you remember the phrase, "Oh, you must have African in your family because you got that good," or I'm sorry, Indian in that family because you got that good hair.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Oh yeah, I am. I'm part such and such. Where's your papers? That's all. Where's your papers? That's what he's saying. That's what he's talking about as a fake Indian. That's why we wanted him to come on to clarify something. Because some stuff, if you read something like this, some people get offended because they look at one word out of that statement. What word is that? You want to tell me? You want to tell me what the word is?
Do I give a fuck?
But what's the word that people misconstrue out of that statement?
Not. There's a lot that could be dissected by that.
There's only one word I'm talking about, and it's fake. I don't know why you wouldn't say it, but that's the word I'm talking about.
All Aberdeen's people are dark and melanin.
True.
Yeah, there's truth in it.
Some truth. Full truth, not necessarily. So, because I've seen, what about your albino Aborigines or your redhead Aborigines? They're not going to be dark. You can't base it off of the skin color.
I know
to be Aborigine.
I know a red-haired person that's dark skinned like a mother. How that happened, I don't know.
I'm glad you brought.
I don't know.
That's what they call a mutant. But that's what I'm getting to, though. That's what I'm getting to. Saying because you're dark is because you're Aborigine is not the right way to go. Melanin doesn't dictate Aborigine. That does not dictate it.
Certain percentages of it does, just like certain percentages will dictate.
Again, melanin in your skin does not dictate Aborigine. So you're telling me if two Aborigines have an albino child, because they came out albino, there's no percentage of melanin in their skin. Had to think about that.
No, I'm listening.
I don't even want to say anything about that.
Well, Mike has a question for you.
Well, considering, calling them Caucasian is not the right word. It goes back to what I called them originally. You didn't listen. They're called Spaniards originally. And actually, it goes beyond that if you really want to go there. but they're originally Spaniards. They're not Caucasians. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to go back to that. But I'll hit you back, Trulo. I'll hit you back in a minute. But again, call them Caucasians. Do you know why they call them Caucasians? Do you know why they use that term instead of what they are, Spaniard? Do you know why they use that term? That's where you got to have to start at. Because what does that mean? They're actually of Asian descent, which is not right. That's what you got to go back and look at. They were originally Spaniard, and people don't like to talk about how those Spaniards are. But let me enlighten you guys with something. It's just right from the Caucasus Mountain, but they call them Asian. Listen to the word Caucasian. It's not because they're from the Caucasus, not necessarily from the Caucasus Mountains.
Majority of it came from the Caucasus Mountains.
Right, but that's not the reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind it because they don't want to be called Spaniards. Because look at the history of Spaniards. Go back and look at that history of the Spaniard. Why do people don't want to be referred to as that? Because if you look at one of the most nasty human beings, they want to give it to the Germans, right? Am I right or wrong? They want to say the Germans because of the Aryan race. Am I right or wrong?
But
now bringing it up, if you want to go back, it wasn't because of them. It's because of them being Spaniard.
The thing that pisses me off with that statement that you just made is that they want to say that it wasn't the German race as being the most hated race. It was more so Hitler. But it wasn't even him that was the most diabolical dude that was out there. It was
Come on.
The name slips me. It's off tip of my. What's his name?
From Russia.
What's his name?
Damn, after you hit me so many times, I don't forgot now.
Damn.
But I'm quite sure y'all get what we're saying. Everyone focuses on Hitler because he affected what is it called? Oh my God, no, I can't think of it.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
The Jews, I'm sorry. Everyone looks at Hitler because of the Jews. Stalin, thank you.
No, there's one worse than Stalin. There's one worse. Who's the one that killed 20,000?
I think that was Stalin.
No, before Stalin. This was back in the 1600s.
Not Napoleon.
He killed 20,000 Africans in one swab.
20 million Africans. Leopold.
There it is. 20 million.
But people want to focus on
Hitler and Stalin and all of them. Leopold was the worst of them all.
20 million. Can you imagine that? 20 million people.
But you want to say that we're not Aborigines when there was 20 million of us on this goddamn planet that he killed.
But the thing is, he killed them where? He didn't kill them here because this was not even founded yet. He killed
this
them in
was all
Africa.
one land before it broke up, though.
Not when Leopold was around. Come on now. By that time, it was already broke up.
No, but I'm just saying.
Are you serious? Right?
Yeah, I'm being dead ass.
The continent was.
I'm being dead ass.
When Leopold was around, the continents were already split, dude. Leopold killed 20 million people. 20 million.
Hitler took notes from American.
No.
And it just wasn't the Jews that Hitler and Stalin killed. You got a fact there. That's a fact.
And that's right. But the thing is, they didn't bother going to Africa. What people have to understand is they stuck around the European nations because they knew they could do whatever the hell they want there. Stalin, once he tried to invade Poland, if y'all don't know your history, that's where he fucked up. That's where he messed up. And what did Hitler? Y'all want to look at Hitler talking about? He took up from American eugenics. No, he studied Leopold. He studied Stalin. He studied all these people to see where they went wrong, to make sure, quote unquote, that he didn't go wrong. So what did he do? He invaded everybody around him. He performed experiments. But let's go back. He wasn't the only one performing experiments. People forget that. People want to focus on what was going over in Europe at that time. Let's talk about here, where we are right now. Do y'all not know at the same time Hitler was doing stuff was happening to black people the whole time, even before that? Why do you think diseases came about that they couldn't understand?
Why do you think cures was based on African genetics?
Why do you think black people don't trust doctors?
Put a pin in this. Hold on. Think about this. Because I know this for a fact because this has happened to people that I've known and their family. At the end of the day, the government would use Africans or black people as test dummies, as guinea pigs for research and different things of that nature. And instead of research, they ended up.
Let's not say research. You stick with the guinea pig. It was no research being done.
Okay.
It was no research.
Well, part of the reason why I say research is because there was certain cures, certain things that they found that was in our genetics that they can use as cures for certain common diseases that are eradicated now.
Like, people understand. Like,
guess to what?
The number one disease among African American killers is sickle cell. Do you think it just automatically popped up? It doesn't affect any other race. Why do you think when even a mixed child or a child that's of I'll say it, African descent is tested for sickle cell? It only affects us.
Lupus too.
Thank you. Only like, do you think it just all of a sudden popped up? Just like COVID? Oh, you know what? Eat a bat. Have some bat soup.
Shoot yourself up with bleach.
Come on, people. Think about it.
Well, here's the thing, though. You want to say
think about when you go when you got wait. I'm gonna say this, and this is we talked about this before. You have person of color, person not of color. They both go to the emergency room complaining of stomach pain. The person of color takes some Pepto-Bismol, go home. Person not of color, let's see what tests we can run to make sure.
No, not only that. Oh, no. If person of color will get some tests done because they want that money for them testing. But they'll do exactly what you said and send them home with some Pepto-Bismol or whatever case may be. Now, white person, you got pain? Let me give you some Vicodin. Let me give you some.
Actually, no, let's not call them white. Let's do it like I said. Call them Spaniard. Because you know what? The most common looking Spaniard is blonde hair, blue eyes. What was considered the Aryan race? You remember? Blonde hair and what? Blue eyes.
Like I said, they'll see you because they want that insurance money, but they
No, they won't. No, they won't. If you're colored, they're going to make sure they get your insurance information up front. Make sure it's good.
But yeah, and then they'll go ahead and treat you and everything. But
within a certain amount.
But what I was going to say, depending on the type of insurance that you have, is determining the treatment that you're going to get
because of the color of your skin.
That too, but also because I've seen this happening on both. Just like that prime example of what you talked about with the stomach, just that using that as an example, that was a real life situation that I've experienced. You see what I'm saying? And I've seen the difference on both sides of the spectrum. Yeah, they'll run tests and this, that, and everything else. But I've also seen the difference in that medical bill. You see what I'm saying? Definitely done seen the difference in that medical bill. Hold on, we got some more comments that came in. Not Spanish. The original Aryans are dark-skinned.
If you look up the original Aryan race, they were not dark. That's what we were thought to believe. The original Aryans were actually an underground nation. And that's why people get lost in what the thought of what is considered. If you like I said before, there's a reason why they did not invade Africa. There's a reason why. He didn't want them African problems.
I have a point.
Indo-Aryans. There's actually no picture of an Indo-Aryan. They're going to show you what they look like now. They will not show you. If you look at that picture, they're not See, they're not dark.
They're not light-skinned either.
But they're not dark.
But they're not light-skinned
I didn't
either.
say they were dark. I didn't say that. I said they were blonde hair and blue eyes. We just looked at the picture. They're not necessarily, that's again with the Hindu nation, when the original Hindus were not actually that dark.
I think this is more of an accurate depiction of what the original.
What he's trying to say, yeah. That's
from they're not and some of them might have that trait of what you're talking about.
Now, here's why I'm telling you that, because if you go back and look at the kings and queens, the ones that were put in power, they were not that dark.
They were about a medium melatonin complexion.
I'm telling you, understand what I'm telling you. Stop trying to debate and understand what I'm telling you.
Well, this is a debate show. We're supposed to debate.
I'm talking about stop trying to debate and listen. What you have to understand, the people that were in power, and truly, I mean, we'll show you the picture right here. Where is it? I don't know if you can. It's probably going to come in focus. But if you look at it, the original Aryans are not dark. I understand everybody wants to be right, but listen to what I'm telling you. The original people of planet Earth, if you want to go there, yes, they were all dark. We all know that the depiction of Jesus is wrong. Wool hair, skin is an olive, wrong. If you want to go there, and I'm quite sure you don't want to debate the Bible with me, please. What you have to understand is the Aryan race as seen, the ones that were in charge with the Aryan race were not the dark ones. They would not let them run the nation. They would not. If you don't believe me, go back and look. I just showed you the picture. The ones that were in power were the fair skinned with the blonde hair and blue eyes. That's what he was looking for. That's why Hitler said, oh, they're more superior. But like I just said, if you listen, he would not touch Africa. He wouldn't even bother. He didn't even look at it. He's like, let me deal with Europe. Russia, you gonna help me? If you're gonna help me, we can go to Africa. But if you ain't help me, I ain't going to Africa. They don't play over there. If you think about the original, we can talk about the original Africans. Look at your Italians. Look at your Italians. Look at them. Tell me who they look like. They don't look like the Spaniards. They don't look like the Germans. Why do you think they so closely relate with talking with their hands all the time? That ain't a Eastern European thing. Why do you think they got short tempers? They don't listen to people. That right there. That's what
I'll get to that.
You're skipping right over it. You got to go to that.
Because this is a continuation from his first comment. Blonde hair, blue eyes are a new genetic mutation that was that 10,000 years old. Now we're on to what Mike said. Because the
newest Jewish people weren't the original people. Now, go back to this one. You just proved my point. It's a rarity. Just like people.
This is what I was waiting for him to bring up. Let's talk about it. This is exactly why I wanted him.
I'm trying to think of the year. Let me look at the year.
This is exactly why I wanted him to come up on the show, so we can be able to talk about this on how the war has impacted the pigmentation of what's going on. And while he's looking that up, folks, we're going to take one quick break. We'll be right back.
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
And we are back, folks. Let's have to take a real quick commercial break. But yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, yeah, we're talking about a lot. We started talking about the government shutdown. Then we went into a whole nother aspect of where we're at right now. But let's talk about the Morris dynasty and what that actually meant. We have another comment a couple comments that came in. The reality that what you're talking is a rarity.
No, it's not a rarity. That's what you're typing. Huh? Go back to that. It's a.
This one right here.
It's not a rarity. That's what you're taking it as. We are not saying it is a rarity. Mike, you have to explain that a little bit.
Bro, but if we were here for millions of years, how the hell are you going to say that we ain't never ruled our own planet? He has a point. Before. So at the end of the day, what he's saying, because you had said that you spoke on something about they wouldn't let us rule our own land. Like,
No, they would.
So
Look at history. You want to talk about history? Look at history. Did they let us rule our own land? When we got too powerful, what happened?
okay, so this is what Mike meant. Blonde hair, blue eyes is not a rarity. That's what they genetically modified. So I figured the past 10,000 years.
Right. That's why it's considered an awe-struck. When you see someone walk around with that rarity, even I guess you know what? The genetic mutation to blue eyes, period, is a showstopper for a lot of people.
Green eyes is a rarity.
Green too. Anything other than brown, it turns heads. Gray is the most uncommon feature of eyes.
Okay, so what's your point?
What I'm saying is, when it came down to it, people would listen more to someone of that distinct feature. Because guess what? You're going to do that. And I'm talking about. Look at the history. Why do you think they gave Jesus blue eyes?
Because that right there, his story.
Whose story?
Exactly.
Whose story?
We don't know. Exactly. But
You're saying exactly, but you're not making any sense right.
So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that at the end of the, what do we already know we've witnessed certain things in history that aren't as transparent.
Actually,
now.
let's take that back. We haven't witnessed anything. We've read history.
No, let me finish my statement. We've actually witnessed some things in history. 9/11 as an example that is not being portrayed in schools the way that it actually happened in reality. So whose history is it?
So
9/11 as an example.
No, I'm gonna take that example and I'm gonna run with it.
Okay.
With 9/11, they don't even teach about it. I asked my son.
My point exactly.
My
point exactly.
I asked my son this year. I was like, "Oh, did you guys do anything with 9/11 Day?" No.
Really?
We just watched the video and that was it.
Really?
Oh.
So you see what I'm talking about. So
now, I would say this a couple years ago. When my daughter was in the same school, they actually had a whole week for 9/11. Now all of a sudden it's got to the point. It's not even a day. It's a video. They call it what it is. Oh, no. Go back to this one. Mike, you're so daggone right on that.
That was Truly.
Or, yeah. I was looking at Mike's thing and my bad. Truly, but you're right on that too. Story they gave Christianity when the Romans gave them the Bible that they pieced together.
That is facts.
Now, here's my favorite thing about the Bible, and I'm glad.
And this is facts too. It goes to Mike. It goes to what Mike is saying. They kind of adds to what Mike is saying. No,
here's the thing. How many of us right now understand Aramaic?
Why don't they teach Aramaic? If that was the original language, why don't they teach it?
You're going too far. Stay right there. I want you to get to that in a second. Let it pause. How many of us right now speak Aramaic?
Called the dead language for a reason.
Now, go into what you were saying.
How many people can read Aramaic? It ain't that far off from
Nobody. So the original language just fell off and there's nobody on this earth?
After Aramaic, there was Hebrew.
So we're told. Because remember, if you read in the Bible, he split up the tongues to many different languages.
Oh, Trulu says he can.
So you can read Aramaic.
He says he might be able to speak Aramaic.
Nope, that's not the. See that? I'm glad you think that. Go back. If you're so in tune with looking up, they will tell you the new Arabic is not Aramaic. It helps you with phrases, but it's not the complete Aramaic.
Well, I think what he's meaning is that Arabic is transitioning into the new Aramaic language.
But it's not.
But it's not the original.
There you go.
But what I think he is saying is that he can read and probably dissect Aramaic translation.
No one can. That's why the original Bible is sitting where it is. The quote unquote original Bible that's in Aramaic. I'm throwing out nonsense.
So what facts do you have to back this up? Everything that you're talking about, what facts do you have? I want to know.
Well, considering I do know the Bible.
Okay, but I've even came at you with this. How accurate can we take the Bible for what it is? It's been translated so much. It's been written.
And we talk about it all the time.
And the man that actually written the Bible was a man that wrote 3 demonic Bibles before that. So how can we say that is actual factual information? The Bible to the letter to the T is the truth of what we stand on. How can you say that?
And that's why I'm glad you brought that up. Because you have to take every version of the Bible, put it together, and you'll be able to piece things together. Remember how we say what we say? It's 3 sides, right? With the Bible, it's actually more than 3. Because you have the lost books of the Bible. You have the canon books. You have the the NLT. You have the King James Version, which I don't even know how King James is the most read part of the Bible.
King James is the one I was talking about.
You have the Slave Bible, which excerpts certain phrases from the Bible, considered the original. Now, I want to, and I'm glad you brought that, Trulu. It is you meant that the other way. Arabic is a root, or is the daughter of Aramaic. That's a talk to text. I can tell.
Yeah, he's using talk to text.
I can definitely tell that, because when you read it, it's like, what?
It's because King James found the book of Canaan. So, but you're still not answering my question, though. How can we? If
I just told you, you're talking about an answer. I said you have to put all the pieces together of the puzzle to understand what's going on.
All those pieces were still written by man. So at the end of the day, how can we still know that this is what we stand on? This is what it is. Like, there's nothing. This is the law of the land.
I guess I went over your head with that. If you take, just like anything else, you have to put pieces of a puzzle together. You have to read everything. Read all of this stuff to go along. You have to understand. That's why there's so many different religions that pull their own stuff. If you understand that. That's like when people say, when you think of the Book of Islam, they're talking about, how it's very, condescending in how you treat people. How we should never, ever read into the Book of Islam. How Muslims, for some reason, have this bad notion of when you go to jail, they don't read the Bible, they read the Book of Islam, so therefore it's a criminal book. But no, it's not. The Quran is not evil. If you sit there and take that with the Bible, with the Seventh-day Adventists, with the lost books, and actually, let's go back to here, what Trulu said. I don't want to get past that. All books are written by men. Exactly. What book are you not going to read? So you're just going to sit there and blindly the blind.
The thing is, the prophets and all the messengers, it don't matter what book you find, a man that has who has a common message. What does God say in the book? That you should not worship a false idol. Yeah.
But actually, you know what, Mike? I'm glad you mentioned that, because if you think about it, every Bible has that in there. No matter Buddha's Bible, the Quran, and thank you, truly, the Holy Quran. I don't call that because I'm not Muslim. If you look at that, people that are the Muslim nation, yes, they call it that.
No, not everybody of the Muslim, not because I know some people that's not it's out of respect, bro. So
if that's the crazy, if that's out of respect, and you don't say the Bible, then you say the Holy Bible.
I do. Well,
You didn't. So there you go. So you got to, if you're going to each one call one, you got to each one call one. And I've never called it the Holy Quran. And thanks for the correction.
okay, I have said this before. No one really knows who wrote the original Bible or translated it all in different versions of languages.
Right. And nobody knows and you know what's funny?
And here's the thing: they say that the original Bible was written in Hebrew, not in
by
Arabic,
more than one scholar.
not in Aramaic, but in Hebrew. So that means that they were already
translated from Arabic to Hebrew.
Correct.
What they could understand.
Correct. That's what my understanding of it is. But again, going to what she's saying here, the translations, when it comes to the Holy Bible, I'm going to say it as that it's been watered down so much. You can't necessarily say that about the Holy Quran.
Well,
You cannot say that the Holy Quran has been watered down the same way that the Bible has.
Because
I don't think so.
How did the Quran get created?
Okay, hold on. No, they say the original scriptures are Aramaic and Hebrew. Okay, so I stand mistaken. I'm correct.
What was I going to say? And that's why I think some of the Aramaic translations, I think it's called is it the NLT? Help me out here, Truly. You probably know. Is it the new something NLT or the new version where it's translated where people can actually read it? And if you try to look at what the Bible says, opposed to that, it doesn't even match up.
I'm actually going to look that up.
I'm trying to think of what it's called. Either way, I think it was made here it was English. It's an English version of the Bible. I want to say it's NLT, but I'm not sure what that stands for. But when you compare that to the King James, it doesn't make sense. And if you look at a lot of pastors and preachers, they do the same thing. They'll go off to King James. They don't want to use the NLT because they're afraid of it. They're afraid that what message they're trying to put together ain't going to match up. You ever realize that? A lot of the new preachers, what they do, they'll do one scripture and then they'll work off of it, and that shows you're great at what you do. But the old school preachers, remember how they read?
They'll put 3 scriptures together and try to interpret it into a sermon that doesn't have any correlation with what they're talking about.
That's it. NLT, NLV. That's what I was thinking, the new language version and NLT. But it's like they will sit there and they get so afraid.
And they'll put 3 scriptures together that make no sense, but they want to translate it and dissect it into their sermon to try to make sense of it. But they don't go hand in hand.
Let's give them an example.
How the hell are you going to bring up a scripture from Deuteronomy and tie it into Acts?
And they don't even. Jesus wept, and then on the 3rd day he rose again. Wait a minute, what? Was that Jesus? Was that Noah? Who? And it rained on the 40 days and 40 nights. Wait a minute. Where are you going, Pastor? Offering time.
And honestly, I know we were starting off to talk about the government shutdown. I don't know how we even got into this part, but
actually, you know what? It does all tie in together.
At the end of the day, churches are really pushing people away. Have you noticed that they even mentioned it on the news, how memberships in churches are dropping? Churches are shutting down.
Did I send you the thing where the guy talked about how when you want to talk to some of these mega pastors,
you can't.
They're going to look at what you make, see how much tithes you're paying, and they'll decide then if you can talk to the pastor. I think for one of them to perform your wedding, it's like, I forgot who it was like $5,000 or $6,000 for them to perform a wedding. Bro, $300. Actually, am I overdoing it? No, it's inflation, right? 300
for me.
Yeah,
350.
350. There you go. 350. He's licensed. You want to pay $5,000, $10,000 to have TD Jakes to perform your stuff? Go ahead. That don't mean you're going to get the best TD Jakes. Oh, then you got to pay for his security team too.
Yeah,
they got to eat. Make sure we didn't miss anything.
No, we're good.
No, we did right here.
No, I put that up.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe I just want to go back to it.
Maybe. I don't know.
This right here, Trulu, that stays to one thing, a common message.
Oh my God, Trulu, I care with you.
I love that. Those of you that drive and they can't look right now, it says, you know it's hard out here for a pimp, so I hit the pulpit to pay the rent. You ain't lying, man. You are not lying. I want to say this.
Let's get back to the government shutdown, though, because
the government shutdown actually affects every piece of what we're talking about. How? How, you say? Doesn't make no, it doesn't. Yeah, it really does. It really does. If you think about why these fools are shutting down the government, why you want to sit here and argue about somebody not knowing what they're talking about. I'm putting it out there. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but then you can't tell me that you can't prove to me why I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I think my education tells me I know what I'm talking about, but and having an open debate about everything.
And again, this is all opinion.
Now, paying the rent. Well, government shutdown, that may be one thing that gets done.
Nobody gonna be able to pay their rent.
Well,
here's the thing about the government shutdown. If you lucky for the working class individual, you guys might not be affected that hard by it.
And unfortunately,
you see what I'm saying?
The unfortunate thing of what you said out of that, there's one word that sticks.
Working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Working class might not.
Working class gets screwed every time.
Yeah, but they're not going to hurt off of this.
No, they're not. We're not going to hurt, but we're screwed every time. Yeah. You know what? Gas is what?
$5. Yeah.
I'm going to give you all a little tidbit. Has anybody in here ever paid $1,000 for groceries?
Yeah.
Anyone? $1,000? Since I don't know what I'm talking about. Has anyone paid on? Well, we've all paid $5 a gallon if you live here in Arizona. So, I mean, if you don't, thank goodness you don't.
Shoot, Cali's up to $6.50 right now. Yeah.
No, not a month.
No,
not a month. I wish it was a month.
What, the groceries?
Yeah. I think that's what Mike's talking about.
Oh, easy.
Not a month, man. I thought about it. I thought it was a month, and I thought, no, went 2 weeks ago, so it shouldn't have been $1,000.
Well, the way that these prices are set up.
Where the prices set up.
I mean, you go to the store one day. I mean, and the thing about it, certain items are going down. Certain items are going up.
You know what the thing? Yeah, there you go.
And the thing about it is, like, you can never judge when a good time to go. It's like the stock market. You know when to buy, you know when to sell. With grocery shopping,
you got to go when you got money. It depends on where you got the money.
$350 for a week. Oh, Tulu, $1,000 for grocery shopping.
Yeah, groceries.
That's what he's referring to.
Oh, I think he means what did we buy in groceries? I think that's what he's talking about. What did we buy in groceries? Well, we got it.
It doesn't matter. It's $1,000 in groceries.
And I'm like, you know what? This was my thought. That was my thought. What the hell did we just buy? I looked around like this ain't no more than what we usually get.
I know somebody that goes through $1,400 a month in food. That's just food.
That's just like. So what is the shutdown going to do? It ain't going. Unless the shutdown is going to say, you know what? Maybe we need to drop these prices in Arizona.
I think the opposite is going to happen, bro. The shutdown is going to start forcing shit to increase again.
One thing is ain't stopped increasing. That's the problem. Remember how we just talked? We said gas was $4.65 a week ago.
Not even.
Not a few days ago. Weekend hit, it was up to $5. Wait a minute. So the weather cools off, electricity goes down, gas goes up. But mind you, remember, all of this has nothing to do with Ukraine. Remember that. We put $27 billion out there to reinforce them, but none of the inflation has to do with.
And you talking? Is that a month? If that's a month, wow, that's crazy.
If that's a month, that's awesome.
No, that's still high as hell, bro.
Well, no, that's what, 650? No, 550. 550 every 2 weeks. That's not bad.
So I guess the dog is eating good.
I was like, that dog cost you about $400 or $500, ain't it?
Man, so yeah, man, going back to this government shutdown.
I'm still stuck on the $3 for the dog.
Man, going back to this government shutdown, man. I think this is the worst possible time for it to happen, if it does happen. Now, keep in mind, everybody.
There's no actually, you know what? There's no good way to have a shutdown. There's no good time.
There's not, but this would be the worst time ever. It would be the worst time ever.
But
they even threatened. They threatened for a shutdown. What, 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago?
Well, remember they did do a mini shutdown. They've done it every year
for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they do it every year. I'm just thinking they just want to what do they call it? A vacation. That's all. They don't want to use the PTO, so they shut down. Because you know what happens? They end up, because what was it? It was last year. It was last year where they did the shutdown, and then they had the senators voting. Some of them were in Cancun and in the Caribbean and stuff like. Wait, so there's a shutdown, and you're still able to travel?
Yeah, wasn't Ted Cruz somewhere on a vacation?
That's what I was mainly referring to. He was in the Caribbean somewhere.
Okay.
And Nancy Pelosi was somewhere too. Like, wait, so it's a shutdown going on and y'all vacationing? That's all it's about. They need a vacation. They ultimately, I bet you, like that article that came out, oh, they got that deal ready. They just need a break, and they'll need like a 2 week break, and they'll come back and everybody will sign it. It'll be some minor ratification where they're signing it.
You think so? I think it's going to shut down. It's going to shut down for 2 weeks, bro.
That's what I'm just saying.
It's going to shut down.
They'll shut down for 2 weeks. Like they got a, what do you even say? They have a general agreement.
But here's the thing, though. That 2 weeks to a month that the government shut down, just like anybody that knows about living the paycheck to paycheck, you miss one paycheck, it's a tumble. It's a tumble effect.
Everything gets held up.
Yeah. So that 2 weeks to a month that something gets held up, guess what? That's going to happen to everyday Americans. We're fucked. That's what I'm saying. Like we're going to be screwed.
Right there. You're exactly right. That's exactly the same. I can tell that's your wife. They're saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing. They want to cause panic. That's what happens every year. And you're right. Every year they want to do that. Oh my God, the government's going to shut down. And one thing I said during our meeting, and we didn't bring it up today. If everyone could agree.
Wasn't there a day that they were supposed to do that?
Yep, it was a couple
weeks ago.
Like
September 1st or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think it was the exact date.
Yeah, I think
everybody wasn't supposed to be on social media, go to work,
not get gas,
and you know what?
Everybody,
it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
But your senators and House representatives, all of them, they can agree, not to agree. And look at the fallout. But
that's all they're going to continue to do is continue to do quick fixes. They're never, ever going to solve the problem. They're not. It's just going to be a quick fix, just like what Biden did when it came to the budget. We're going to extend the budget. Why? That's not solving the problem.
Well, in some people's eyes, it did. Because he still got a 47% or 43%. Or no, wait, I'm too high.
He has
38.
He has a 39.6.
Yeah, 39.6%. I knew it was too high. It was like 38, 39 approval. So somebody, maybe it's the Pat and Mima, whatever they call it. Pat and Mima.
Oh Lord Jesus. Anyway, folks, Thank you for tuning in this week. Make sure you tune in each and every week. Also, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Any last words, Parky? Yeah,
Man, you failed me. You failed me. I'm gonna just tell you that you failed me. I was expecting that to come in 10 minutes ago when I said about the 2-week vacation. But you're right, though. You're right.
There's 365 days in the year, right?
And they work 140.
So they only work less than 6 months. They're in session less than 6 months. Yeah.
We doing the wrong gig, man.
I told you I should be an alderman.
I don't want to be an alderman.
Shit, it's a foot in the door. Anyway, folks, make sure you tune in next week and each and every week. Until then, we will catch you on the flip side.
I want to be in the house of pimp representatives.
It's hard out here for a pimp. That's why nigga in the pulpit trying to get the rent.
Maybe I'll go through the church and get.
We got it. You going to hell? I ain't going with you.
I mean, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say.
I don't care.
What